The tension was palpable. Cameras rolled, lights blazed, and crew members scurried around. But for Yandy and Rasheeda, it felt like the entire world had shrunk down to just the two of them. Every word they exchanged was like a sharp-edged blade, cutting deeper and deeper into wounds that had festered for years. Their relationship, once rooted in camaraderie, had morphed into a battlefield, and now, in front of the relentless gaze of reality TV cameras, the gloves were off. Yandy had always been a pillar of strength, someone who prided herself on holding things together no matter how messy life got. But tonight, the weight of it all threatened to break her. The accusations Rasheeda hurled at her hit closer to home than she was prepared to admit. This wasn't just the usual playful banter or teasing that had defined their friendship. This was deeply personal. Rasheeda's words carried a sting that went beyond the surface, aimed at the very foundation of Yandy's relationship with Mendices. Rasheeda's disdain for Mendices had been growing for years. She didn't trust him, didn't like the choices he made, and was vocal about how those choices reflected poorly on Yandy. Tonight, she wasn't holding back. Every word, every glance seemed like an attack, as if Rasheeda blamed Yandy for everything Mendices had ever done wrong. Are you really going to sit here and defend him after everything he's done? Rasheeda's voice was heavy with disbelief. Yandy felt her blood boil. She had spent years biting her tongue, trying to keep the peace, but now she could feel the frustration bubbling over. Her voice shook as she fired back. Why do you always have something to say about Mendices? You're not the one in this relationship. I am. I'm the one who deals with his mistakes, his baggage, and his past. So don't sit here and act like you know what's best for me. Rasheeda scoffed, rolling her eyes, but Yandy wasn't done. She had reached her breaking point. You've been watching from the sidelines, judging me, judging him. You've always had your opinions, but you've never been in our shoes. You don't know what we've been through, what I've had to forgive, and yet here you are acting like you have all the answers. The words hung in the air, heavy and unrelenting. The tension between the two women was electric. It wasn't just about Mendices anymore. It was about something deeper. There was a jealousy, an unspoken rivalry that had always simmered beneath the surface. Rasheeda's presence in Mendices' life had always loomed like a shadow over Yandy's relationship with him. You think you're the only one who's had to deal with his mess. Rasheeda snapped back, her voice rising. You think I don't know what it's like to be hurt by him? He's dragged both of us down, and I'm tired of watching you pretend like he's changed. For a moment, Yandy felt the ground shift beneath her. The words hit her like a slap in the face. She wanted to scream, to lash out, but the cameras were rolling, and the world was watching. She refused to give anyone the satisfaction of seeing her fall apart. Still, inside, it felt like everything was crumbling. The weight of Mendices' mistakes, Rasheeda's constant interference, and the ever-present drama was too much to bear. The argument escalated, voices rising, accusations flying. Crew members stood on the sidelines, unsure of how to intervene, knowing they were witnessing something raw and real. This wasn't just reality TV drama. It was the unraveling of a relationship, a battle for control, and a fight for respect. Yandy eventually stormed off, her heart pounding, her mind racing. She was furious and exhausted, but more than anything, she was hurt. Rasheeda had crossed a line, and Yandy wasn't sure their relationship could recover. But as much as Rasheeda's words stung, they also forced Yandy to confront some harsh truths about her life and her relationship. Word on the street was that Mendices had been pulling away from Yandy, and whispers of his renewed closeness with Erica were growing louder. Erica had always been a sore spot for Yandy. She had a history with Mendices that predated Yandy's relationship with him, and despite Yandy's efforts to set boundaries, it seemed Mendices was unable or unwilling to sever ties with her. When Mendices was incarcerated, Yandy had gone above and beyond to hold their family together. She juggled the responsibilities of raising their children, managing their household, and navigating the drama that came with being a public figure. She stood by him, loyal and unwavering, even when others told her she deserved better. But now that he was back, the cracks in their relationship were becoming harder to ignore. Yandy had hoped that therapy and open communication would help them rebuild their marriage. But Mendices' actions told a different story. He seemed distant, evasive, and at times indifferent. Rumors swirled that he had moved out of their home and into a new place with Erica, reigniting their relationship and leaving Yandy feeling betrayed and humiliated. The love triangle between Yandy, Mendices, and Erica had been the source of tension for years. Erica had made no secret of her lingering feelings for Mendices, and Mendices, for his part, had never fully closed the door on that chapter of his life. Yandy tried to convince herself that she was the one he truly loved, but deep down, she couldn't shake the nagging doubts. Erica's claims only added fuel to the fire. She spoke openly about her history with Mendices, painting a picture of a relationship that was deep and meaningful. She talked about the life they had built together before Yandy entered the picture, the vacations they took, the family moments they shared. It was a past that Yandy couldn't compete with, and it left her feeling like an outsider in her own marriage. Despite everything, Yandy tried to hold her head high. She poured herself into her work, her children, and her friendships, but the weight of the situation was always there, pressing down on her. The public scrutiny didn't help. Social media was ablaze with opinions, some sympathetic to Yandy, others questioning her choices. How could she not see this coming? One commenter wrote, "Mendices has always been shady. She deserves better," another added, "but she keeps putting herself in these situations." The public's reaction mirrored Yandy's own internal struggle. She knew she deserved better, but walking away from Mendices meant admitting defeat, and that was something she wasn't ready to do. Her pride kept her tethered to a relationship that was breaking her, and as much as she hated to admit it, Rasheeda's words had struck a nerve. As the days turned into weeks, Yandy found herself at a crossroads. She could continue fighting for a relationship that seemed doomed, or she could choose herself and walk away. It wasn't an easy decision, and the path forward was anything but clear. But one thing was certain. Yandy was tired of living in the shadow of Mendices' past, tired of sacrificing her happiness for a love that might not be real. For now, Yandy's story remains unresolved, a tangled web of love, betrayal, and resilience. Whether she finds a way to rebuild her life with Mendices or decides to start over on her own, one thing is clear. Yandy is a fighter, and she won't let this be the end of her story.